Well, he called for the toughest, and that test does not come without some hardware. Enter Derick Jorgensen. Eric, once upon a time, a 1-2 amateur with some brutal losses to now 3 straight and up for the 45 strap.
Yeah, he was really, it looks like he was really busy. He didn't let the dust settle last year. He wanted this opportunity, and he worked hard for it. It looks like he's developed quite a bit.
Jason, 3 times the experience edge to Derick. Got to be something in his mindset coming into tonight.
Yeah, like you said, he's dusted it off. He took two big losses, came back. He's on a fight win streak, and he wanted the toughest tonight, and he's got the toughest tonight in Nico Braswell.
Won 3 consecutive, 2 by first round submission. Very, very interested to see how he looks in this first title setting. Coming off the heels also of his fastest finish ever versus a training partner of Nico Braswell and Zach Hamilton.
Yeah, he did fight one of Nico Braswell's training partners. Nico Braswell has just been a wrecking ball since he stepped onto the scene too.
Nico Braswell, lots to look forward to with him, but so much of Derick Jorgensen's success has been built off of his grappling foundation. Same can be said about the Agima fighter.
Yeah, both very heavy grapplers. Nico super aggressive. This is a great fight.
Derick Jorgensen, 31 years of age, going to be a good one, Eric.
It'll be really interesting to see how these 2 grapplers stack up with each other. You know, they're both from well-rounded camps, so.
Both should get quite the pop from the crowd, too.
Well, this roof rumbles when Nico Braswell's music hits. Jason, just 2 fights in, but never looked like a newcomer since he made his debut in February of last year.
He's looked like a seasoned vet every time he stepped in the cage, and this speaks volume. Having him fight for a title, only being 2-0, this speaks volumes for what the potential is with this kid.
Eric, 76% control time in his first 2 fights on average. It was 11 seconds to Matt Elisa Kamanu in February of last year, 20 seconds to Flor Zarek Moshed earlier this year.
Yeah, you know, like we talked about, the grappling just speaks for itself. Both of them fantastic grapplers. We'll see who can implement their game early and control the position.
And Jason, we talked about it a little bit, but his first 2 fights have been alongside debuters. Quite the leap to throw with a guy like Jorgensen.
Yeah, huge leap with a guy with Jorgensen, and he's been Jorgensen is battle tested. He's been in there with some tough guys. He's faced a beat. He came back on a win streak. What a matchup.
Let's see what flies off the film for this featherweight title bout. Jorgensen on the north side of 30, a staggering 6-inch height advantage. Also favors the Tooele fighter. Both log underneath the championship rim of 145 pounds. Unbeaten at 2-0 is Braswell, 4-2 for Jorgensen. All right, geared to get us started is Jackson Hobbs.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by JC Pro Design, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. The fight is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds for the Fierce Fighting Championship Amateur Featherweight title. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 4 wins and 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 144 pounds. Fighting out of Tooele Martial Arts Academy, hailing from Tooele, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Derick Jorgensen. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an undefeated amateur record of 2 wins and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighed in at 144.5 pounds. Fighting out of Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Provo, Utah, by way of Chandler, Arizona. Fierce fans, make some noise for Nico El Suave Braswell.
Amateur fight, amateur rules, okay? Listen, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. If you do not protect yourself, I will stop the fight. You guys have any questions? All right, watch the back of the head. Touch gloves and back up.
Title fight digs for Nico Braswell in the red gloves on a hot streak of his own is Derick Jorgensen opposite in the blue. This amateur featherweight title bout is brought to you by JC Pro Design. From expert fabric recommendations to accurate color matching, you can count on JC Pro Design to make you look good. JC Pro Design, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
I'm really interested to see how Nico deals with the length here.
6-inch height disadvantage for Braswell again. 5'10" is Jorgensen, 5'4" on the other side. Jason never really had an issue with any height disadvantages up to this point, but again, only 2 fights in.
Yeah, he's never really been tested either, so will he be able to handle a little bit of adversity if it comes for him? He can definitely handle a heavy leg kick, because that was a heavy leg kick by Nico.
Fast twitch for the Agima fighter. Jorgensen steps in to pop out a jab.
I think Jorgensen looks just a hair timid. Maybe he might be worried about rushing in and running into a takedown.
The wrestling prowess of both of these guys so special, but Nico Braswell, again, a 76% control time in his first 2 walks. A couple of feints as well, Jason.
Yeah, Nico is explosive too. When he goes, he goes. And that's maybe the hesitation we're seeing from Jorgensen, Eric.
Well, and me being a taller fighter, you always got to hesitate rushing in on a shorter fighter, because if you get too overextended with your hands, he can duck under.
Both guys trading back and forth. Not a lot of clean shots hit so far. Very attentive in the gray trunks as well as the white.
You know, if I'm Jorgensen, I'd probably work that same leg kick a little bit more. Work that feint and then work the leg kick. See if you can soften it up.
Backed up is Braswell, able to flashily dump Derick Jorgensen right back up to his feet.
Braswell's throwing leather.
Yeah, he is.
That. Jorgensen's holding on to the leg, but Braswell's punishing him for it.
Climbing up the tree is Nico Braswell. Got the fans in a frenzy.
Jorgensen could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Trying to step over for that omoplata. Derick Jorgensen, veteran move to hide the hand. Teeter-tottering back and forth, Eric.
Jorgensen needs to break that grip around his waist, turn into him. Or he can shake and try to shake that arm out. There he goes.
Kind of a pedestrian start, Jason, but right now, Nico Braswell going for broke.
Yeah, when he goes, he goes. He is all action. Jorgensen listened to his corner. You saw him nod his head there, so he's doing the right things here, circling around. This is where we have not seen Nico Braswell on the bottom. I don't think we've ever seen Nico on the bottom like this in a fight.
Not a second on the short side of control time. Eric, what you got?
Well, if I'm Nico, I'm going to try to scoot my butt back towards the cage to start to work up. He's only got 10 seconds here, so this is probably where this fight's going to end this round.
What a way to start. First 3 minutes. Fascinating, Jason.
That was exciting, and you saw a little bit of the dominance on Jorgensen on the ground. Once he was able to get on top, it looked like it could be a problem for Braswell.
Well, that was a great scramble, too, though. You know, neither guy was just sitting and trying to hold position. They were both moving, trying to advance.
Over in the corner of Derick Jorgensen, let's see what Tooele Martial Arts Academy has to say about their contender. Not a whole lot of clear audio on that. Some more soft-spoken guys, so we'll kick it back over to the broadcast booth. But good round, Jason.
Great round, great back and forth. Tough round to score. Both of the fighters had moments.
Yeah, I'd maybe like to see Jorgensen just commit to the striking a little bit more. If he throws the jab, see if he can time something up, an uppercut or something like that. Nico's going to want to close the distance again. He had that big slam. They both had a big slam in that first round. So
yeah, both big slams. Braswell with the submission attempts. Jorgensen had a little bit of control time in the end there, last 10 seconds or so.
So much has been said about the size discrepancy between these two, between weight and height, but Nico Braswell comes away with a good first finish. Down is Braswell. Derick Jorgensen hits the button. There's the finish. Derick Jorgensen.
I was not expecting a big overhand from a taller fighter.
And I almost, Blake, thought that might have been a bad stoppage, but Nico was clearly out there.
Yeah, especially with the stumble after.
That was at first I'm like, what did, because it felt like he was fighting up, but he clearly was out. Great stoppage by Tyler Tomlinson and a big shot by Jorgensen. Wow.
Speechless after the shot, Derick Jorgensen Flips on
feel
the chin. Beautiful finish by him. He's going to get a belt for it.
I feel a little Nostradamus there because I said he needed to commit to a strike, and then he committed all the way and made it work.
There's a reason we've got you in this chair. R&R Barbecue replay queued up. Eric, break it down for us.
So he just closed the distance and threw the overhand. He started pawn with the jab a little bit to set that up at first, and then committed all the way in, ducked his head to the side, right on the chin. Perfect shot. And then didn't give him any breath, got right on top of him and just went to work until it was stopped.
A great first round shown by Nico Braswell, but in a game of inches, the veteran comes out on top. Tyler Tomlinson ready to make this one official. Let's go back to Jackson.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 14 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by TKO and new undisputed featherweight champion, Derick Jorgensen.
Derick.